What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I just wanted to kind of address, I mentioned a couple times today, this is why it's like later in the day, why the membership push and where that's coming from, and also address a major shift in the space. I think Tim is a leader in this space. He sets the trends. He's a guy that, really popularized the whole reading articles and reacting to stuff, and he's really pushed forward the live streaming show, and all that is 100% met with respect and what's the word, like sincerity. But I noticed on Friday there was a big influx of people. I happened to be streaming a little bit later because I had to do two different sponsored streams before I left on vacation. And a lot of people came flooding in, and they were really angry. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And I guess this happened on Friday. I want to get your actually want to get your take on it, because I actually understand, I think, where Tim is coming from here. But I'm curious what your take is in the comment section down below, because this is an interesting thing.
Members only chat from subscribers only, and we did it for one reason. I don't want to shut anybody out from the conversation, but what we found was, well, we had a lot of people emailing asking to make it a members only chat because, or increase slow mode or something, because nobody could talk. So the chat was.
This is in response essentially to, and again, I agree with Tim. His chat is essentially unreadable. I think that's probably true of anybody who has huge, huge viewership. When you have 40,000 people watching, it's hard to read the chat. I think the biggest stream I've ever had might have been like 10 or 12,000. It was pretty hard to read the chat there, even with slow mode on. But this is also obviously a response to, a bunch of people essentially going into his chat and roasting him over the Eliza Blue stuff, which basically after today seems to be done. There may be some pending lawsuits I'm hearing of, not related. That's not related to me, but to a particular article. And so, as a creator, you're like, well, how do I deal with this? People can't even use my chat. I want people to use my chat. I definitely, when I live stream, a lot of people come to my live streams and they're like, dude, this is boring. All you do is sit here and like read the chat. That's kind of what I do. I like to stay in touch with my viewers. And so when I live stream, it's just different. There are times that I'm like reading articles and kind of going through what you might see in a typical quartering video. But a lot of my stream is just interacting with the chat. That's important to me. And if I could never do it, I'd be much less, there'd be much less of an incentive to live stream. But a lot of people were really angry about not being able to join the chat there and have their voices heard. And so he essentially gated out. You had to pay $5 a month to chat in his chat. In our space, this is definitely, people react to this definitely a lot stronger. If you go to some of the more popular, like left-leaning channels, or gaming channels even, Dr. Disrespect is a gaming channel, or H3 Podcast and left-leaning stuff, they use members only all the time. It's a great way to incentivize people to actually join as a member, because as revenue, this year's revenue has been really brutal. People have staff to pay, stuff like that. And also, like, hey, if somebody's paying you $5 a month or $10 a month or whatever, like, they should be able to chat too. You should at least be able to see their chats. So I understand where he's coming from, but I don't agree with shutting down chat to members only. I think it's just because it's unique to our space, kind of the free speech space. If you're a gaming channel or whatever, I don't think the optics of it are that bad. But when you're like a news channel, or you're a kind of a free speech kind of person, the optics are a little different. So in a way, it's kind of unique to our space. But I've thought about this kind of stuff for a long time, because memberships. So for example, I have 3 different ways people support me, either on Subscribestar, on Locals, or here on YouTube. And I have done a poor job providing additional members only content to them. This is something I'm going to change today. in order to try and incentivize people to do that. But I'm not going to gate anybody out. I think that's a better way to do it. You've got to just create additional content. For me, I'm thinking of, boy, sure would be nice to do fewer sponsored streams and do fewer ad reads and stuff like that. So if you give people a reason, I think the way I'd go about it is tell my viewers, like I'm telling you, like if you want fewer ad reads on the channel, you want fewer sponsored live streams, just regular live streams. And if you want like one video a week of like members only, like a vlog, I'd rather add value than restrict it. But I get it.
Basically, someone would say an idea and not interact with anybody else. So there was no actual interaction happening. And I had someone advise me that the point of what we do with these shows that makes it work is it's a conversation. With members only chat, yeah, it's $5 a month. So apologies to those who can't do it. But there's no slow mode anymore, meaning you can just now talk. The chat stabilizes. And
by the way, you can see all these people joining as a member. So genius, of course. And, I think he's stuck between a rock and a hard place here. I hear you typing in the comments, so I'm curious what you'll say.
And it also gives you the ability to do some kind of member super chat. So
that's also a big advantage. So by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but if you're a member on a channel during a live stream, you essentially get a free super chat, essentially. It pops up just like a super chat would, and it's included with your membership. So that's kind of a big benefit, especially for people that like to super chat,
It keeps out spam bots and things like that. It makes having an actual conversation easier. And I think we'll give it a shot, see if it works. And then I have a big announcement, my friends.
Now, in a genius move, I'm not being passive aggressive here. It was a genius move because he had built up that he was going to consider retiring. He was going to make a big announcement, and he got immense support from his viewers. Now, he didn't bother doing custom emotes. I did custom emotes at least, but so when you're a member, you can get custom emotes, you get custom badges, you get priority in chat because you can see it easier, things of that nature. But his chat was very mad about it. And I'm not sure, I don't know what the alternative here is. But you look at some of the comments like from the mob, the plebs, but like I kind of get where he came from, but people were really pissed. And I don't think I'd ever want to block chat, but at some point, I think you almost have to. Now, maybe you could lower the price or whatever the case may be, but he definitely annoyed a lot of viewers with this. But I watched the show, and he had basically the same, I don't know, I assume Friday nights are a little bit lower than normal, but he still had his normal 40,000 people there. It's not like people tuned out. So do you think the people that were complaining still watched? Do you think that this is like a slower burn long term? And what do you think of creators who push the membership stuff? I want to talk about kind of what I'm doing with it and how I'm going to approach it versus maybe how he approached it. I don't want to gate. I will not gate any of my content. Okay. So my daily videos, my live streams, my chat, I'm not gating any of that. Maybe live stream replays or something I'll make members only. I don't know if that even matters because I don't live stream that often. But what happens when you join as a member on a channel is, I'll leave a link in the description. You can if you want to. I mean, I would appreciate it. But also, I understand people support me in 3 different areas, so I'm going to tell you what I'm giving, and everyone will get it in all 3 platforms. You get you get all these custom emotes. I've got a bunch of new ones I'm uploading today. You get these loyalty badges, depending on how many months you've been subscribed. You get that free super chat. And then they talk about down here, exclusive members only videos. Well, I don't think I want to gate any of my existing videos. That's not how I want to do it. I think that people that put a ton of production and editing and all that stuff, they could do that. It doesn't fit with someone who tries to cover the news. So what I'm going to do is start with at least bi-weekly And as we get more members go to weekly, just vlogs there. Just more casual behind the scenes, maybe talking about the business, talking about that kind of stuff. Dog videos, cooking videos. People always like request like this kind of behind the scenes content. And I think that is a better way to go about it. And I'm going to see, because I'll know. You see, I have this daily membership goal. We're at 80 out of 100 today. We'll see if a bunch of people join as a member. If that's what you want to see, you want me to work hard and get, some extra behind the scenes content, which I'll post to locals. I'll post to Subscribestar, and I'll post to YouTube memberships. So wherever you are, you'll get it. But the ultimate goal for me is, a lot of people don't know this about me, but it's not just me doing this, right? I have Ben, my thumbnail guy. I have Al and Steven, who are my 2 video editors. I've got Maggie, who handles all my ad buys and stuff like that. Obviously myself. So it's a big team. And I really hate doing like sponsored live streams and there are ads that I like doing. For example, when I talk about like Meta PCs, the quartering, or when I talk about my coffee brand coffee, these are things that fit right in and it don't rub people the wrong way. But when you're trying to kind of cover all your expenses and all that stuff, maybe you take ads for something that you don't love or it doesn't fit. My hope is that I can get enough people to join as a member. I think if I get to, depending, it'd probably be like 3,000 or 4,000, which is totally doable. I mean, I think if people actually want to do this, we could get 500 today alone. To where I don't have to do anywhere near as many of these ad reads. And I think that will increase the overall quality of the channel. It will help solidify or help stabilize, good months, bad months, stuff like that. And it's not gating any of my content. So I'm going to do like a little vlog today, and I'll upload it up to members only. And we'll see if people like that. But what I'm really curious about is what you think. What's the kind of stuff that would make you toss $5 in the jar? And maybe if there's some commonality in the comments, it's something I can do. Maybe with time constraints, I'm only one man, the size of 2, but only one. So maybe it won't be feasible, and that's okay. And maybe I just still do the ad reads and stuff like that. Ad reads are never going to go away, but I certainly would like to do fewer of them. And this seems like the best way to do it. So let me know. I'll leave a link to join if it's something you want to do. You can see it right on my YouTube homepage too. There's a join button. And if not, that's okay too. I still want to hear your voice and hear what you have to say in the comment section down below. And we'll talk to you again real soon.